we got to talk about these coaches. Kevin Stefanski, head coach and main play caller, Mike Priefer, special teams coordinator, and Joe Woods, defensive coordinator. So let's think back to the Kevin Stefanski era. He comes in 2020, right? Changes the culture of the organization. We feel like we've got really smart people that are connected at the front office level to coaching level for the first time in a long time. So we have synergy in the building. He wins 11 games in his first year, 11-5 in that COVID year, which there were no fans in the stands. So that is something to be said, to be noted. We go to the playoffs for the first time since 2002. We win a playoff game for the first time since 1994, an away game against our arch rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we almost win the next week with a somewhat hobbled team. Big year. The team feels like it's gelling. Stefanski wins Coach of the Year. Baker Mayfield throws 26 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions. He's looking like he's kind of coming back to that rookie year Baker Mayfield. You've got Myles Garrett leading the team with 12 sacks. You've got Denzel Ward gets 2 interceptions that year, a very respectable 48 tackles combined. And the Browns were looking good. This is just 2 years ago. Then you get the 2021 season. And we start off against the defending Super Bowl champions in Kansas City against the Chiefs. And we play a very, very close game. It came down to the last drive in which Baker throws an interception. Similarly to the 2 games that we've seen that the Browns have lost this year against the Jets and now the Falcons, a final drive interception. So has quarterback play really gotten significantly better? I don't know. Not yet, I would say. And then the next week comes, we play against the Texans. This is the game that Baker throws the interception, tries to make a tackle, blows out his non-throwing shoulder. And basically the rest of the season is a roller coaster ride of unfilled expectations. This is where you started having those public rumors of unrest in the locker room. Odell Beckham's father posts the video, which ultimately gets him released from the team. And then the Browns have to watch their in-state, in-division rivals, the Cincinnati Bengals, who just a couple years ago were in the dumps, take 2 players, Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, and go to the Super Bowl, and then play against Odell Beckham, who scores a touchdown and helps them win the game. And everything starts to kind of crumble down. This leads to the team going after Deshaun Watson in the offseason and giving away Baker Mayfield to the Panthers for next to nothing. And then deciding to roll with Jacoby Brissett for the first 11 games of the season until Deshaun comes back. All right, so enough history. Let's talk about the present. So we're here in 2022. We're 4 games in, and we're 2-2, and magically, we're still tied for first place in the AFC North. The only saving grace here is the rest of the AFC North is also crapping the bed. I think most fans would agree, though, we should be minimum 3-1. The Jets' loss was unacceptable. And really, we should have beaten the Falcons, and we should be 4-0 and rocking and rolling right now going into Week 5 against the Chargers. That being said, I think there have been 4 main themes that I've identified about what's going on with this season that I want to talk about. 1, miscommunication on defense, and that is squarely on the shoulders of Joe Woods. 2, lack of effort for all 4 quarters of the game, and that's a whole team. That's coaching and its players. 3, missed opportunities, offense, defense, special teams. All aspects of the games, we have missed opportunities. And then the big one that continues to smack us right in the face is questionable play calling from Kevin Stefanski. Let's start there with the questionable play calling. If you think back to this last game against the Falcons, did it really well. Either way, it didn't work. We failed to execute. They build momentum, and now we miss out on points. And at the end of the day, the win condition in football is points. You take a team like the Rams with Sean McVay, he kicks all the time because he knows 3 points are better than 0. We continue to push it, and we have one of the worst 4th down conversion percentages in the NFL. So we're not learning from this. We're just continuing to do the thing that continues to fail. Other examples, we get down on the other side, doing misdirection or whatnot. We're passing the ball and we're failing to execute. And then one of the biggest examples was the tight end around to David Njoku. We lost 6 yards on that play on a really key drive. You have guys on the team that are nothing but speed, like Anthony Schwartz, or an all-around player like Demetric Felton, or a guy who's done nothing but every time he touches the ball, something dynamic happens with Jerome Ford. Instead of designing the play to get it into the hands of the guys with speed, you give it to David Njoku, who I'm sure he's athletic enough, but he's certainly not a speed demon by any means. So it's questionable plays like this that are starting to lead a lot of fans to wonder if it's time for Kevin Stefanski to start focusing mostly on the strategy and game plan and let Alex Van Pelt call the plays. All right, next, missed opportunities. And I think this is one that I'm going to start off with the special teams. You've had Cade York miss 2 extra points, a guy that we drafted, right? He's perfect from field goals, which is great. And ultimately, that's wonderful. You want to have that. But missing extra points in critical positions has been really, really difficult for us. And it led to us losing the Jets game. On top of that, you've got the hands team that really failed to execute twice, because the Jets game was obviously an big thing, which is almost every week at this point. The miscommunication in the secondary, guys not being on the same page on defense. This led to losses. Now, loss against the Falcons with a big pass at the end of the game, wide open guy. The Jets game most certainly led to a touchdown at the end of the game. Baker Mayfield throwing a nice 75-yard touchdown to Robbie Anderson in the first game of the season. These are things that they're saying, okay, we're going to go back. We're going to fix it. We can fix the communication. It'll only take us a day or two to fix that. It is not being fixed. And the version of defense that Joe Woods is playing, the soft zone, it really, when you lose Myles Garrett, that's when you can see exactly how one-sided and how lack of scheming goes into this defense. It is purely let Myles Garrett and or Jadeveon Clowney, if he happens to be on the field this week, go after the quarterback. Everybody else sit back and drop back into weak zone coverage. That's it. 1, maybe 2 guys rush the quarterback. Very, very seldomly are they sealing the edge, and they're allowing these teams to pick them apart. Because if you don't get him, or if you chip Myles or you double team Myles and you don't allow him to get there, then you got guys like Joe Flacco who can sit back and just play backyard football. Wait for a guy to open up, dump it in there, take your 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Same thing. And at this point, year 3 in the Kevin Stefanski era, and I know that there's transition. I know that we're waiting for Deshaun Watson, but every game that goes by that we start seeing the failures, the unforced errors that come down to strategic execution, that all falls on the coaching staff. I'm sorry, but it doesn't give me a lot of hope for when Deshaun actually comes back. I would love to know what you guys think. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of the current situation of this Cleveland Browns coaching staff, what you would change, if any. And also, feel free to like the video if you liked it. Consider subscribing to the channel as well. We're building that up. Thanks for watching, everybody, and go Browns.